Okay.
Let us begin with this thought. Learning the art of prayer is necessary to salvation. In the secular world, we must pass some classes in order to obtain a job. In the spiritual life, we must pass a course on the art of prayer in order to enter heaven. That is our true home. And so we will begin with the first chapter of the book, The Art of Prayer. It is recommended that you read along in the book as you are taking this course and watching these videos. Chapter 1. Underrating Prayer. Let's stop and think. Don't we all underrate the importance of prayer? When time gets short, what do we cut first? Prayer. To many, prayer is simply a waste of time. The problem with prayer is that it doesn't give us instant results, and we live in a world that wants instant results. Don't we want a quick TV dinner for a quick meal or to hit a fast food? We want everything now. Prayer takes time to get results. And yet, let us stop and think about, won't we take time or actually make time in order to obtain something we want? We want a new car, a new computer, whatever. We'll save our money. We might spend 6 months, a year, some projects 2 and even 3 years preparing for them. Why? Because they're important. And what do we do with prayer? Prayer earns us heaven. What's more important than earning heaven? If you can think of it, you're in the wrong place. Let us consider this. 100 years from now, this body will be rotting in the ground. Go to a cemetery, an older one. Look at some of the graves that have been there for 100 to 150 years. How many of those people have been totally forgotten by their descendants here on earth? And yet, their soul is someplace in eternity. Heaven, hell, or purgatory. Where will my soul be 100 years from now? Where will your soul be? Love of prayer is the barometer of religious vitality. Let us consider this well. The soul, like the body, can get sick, and yes, even die in mortal sin. The soul needs nourishment. And the principal nourishment of the soul is prayer. Holy Communion without prayer will barely keep the soul alive. In fact, to prepare properly for Holy Communion, we must pray. And it requires a life of serious prayer. Let us nourish the soul by daily prayer. And just what is prayer? It is time to put away your prayer books and your rosaries, because we're going to get serious now. Prayer is the raising of the mind to God and the union of the soul with God. This is the goal of prayer, union with Almighty God. Let us consider Francisco Marto, one of the Fatima seers. A few years ago I read a book about Fatima, and it told the rest of his story. Oh yes, we've all heard the story that the Blessed Virgin Mary said he will make it to heaven if he says lots of rosaries. After that, he went beyond just simply saying lots of rosaries. His hands may not have always been running the beads, but he would steal away from the others, and they would find him hours later when it's time to leave, kneeling or even prostrating the ground in serious, profound prayer. He had learned the art of prayer. He had gone beyond simply mouthing the rosary. Won't get us anywhere. It is not devotions that get us to heaven, but devotion. You can say 100 rosaries a day. In fact, I read a story of a woman who I think was trying to do just that. But she did not have true devotion. She did not pray from the heart. I think she even neglected her duties. No, we have to take our devotions and do them seriously and meditate upon them, as with the rosary. Penance, renunciation, and the virtues are ordered to prayer. We can say that prayer is the guiding principle of our life. Everything in our life should be ordered to prayer, thus making it the most important part of our life. Prayer is not a sideline for our spare time to be put aside at the least inconvenience. We must make time for prayer. Sometimes other things will have to be put aside so that we can pray. And prayer is how we show we love Almighty God. Consider the many blessings God is showering down upon us day after day after day. In return, He expects us to come to Him in prayer. St. Augustine says, "That man has learned to live well who has learned how to pray well." Do you want to solve the problems of the world? This begins at home in our own lives. We must first improve ourselves and become a beacon of a good example. And we do this in part by learning how to pray well. This is why this part of the seminary course is open to all people, because all are called to pray well. If you wish to continue, go to onlinecatholicseminary.com on the page for this video, and you'll find the questions that accompany this video there. Thank you, and God bless you.